By the end of November 1939, while negotiations continued between Finland and the Soviet Union, Stalin had grown impatient and the Red Army was ordered to invade. Baron Mannerheim was once again called upon to take command, this time against the Soviet general Merettsov, who had predicted that his men would reach the Finnish capital, Helsinki, within 10 days. But while Soviet commanders scoured maps and worked out strategies, they had little imagined how difficult the fight against the Finns would prove to be. Without winter uniforms and lacking provisions for a long campaign, the Soviet troops marched towards the Mannerheim line as the second coldest winter in over a century swept across northern Europe. Though vastly outnumbered and poorly equipped, the Finns were well used to winter fighting and soon had the upper hand. Wearing white camouflaged suits and swiftly traversing the familiar wintry terrain on skis, they had a considerable advantage, and the Soviet casualties were escalating. As January 1940 progressed, one of the most famous battles of the Winter War, the Battle of Suomussalmi, was coming to a close. Advancing from the north and the south, 2 Russian divisions planned to link up at the village of Suomussalmi before heading west to the city of Oulu, thereby cutting the country in half. With the prospect of facing the Russians attacking on 2 fronts, the Finns fought determinedly. Ski troops made wide circling flanking movements and caught the rear end and middle of the northern division by surprise. Meanwhile, to the south, frozen lakes became death traps. Once crossing the waters, the Soviets' dark uniforms made them easy to spot against the white snow, and Finnish Home Guard troops, many of them being expert shots, were able to pick them off one by one, with the Finn Simo Heiha emerging as the deadliest sniper in history with over 500 kills. Meanwhile, despite the Finns' lack of sophisticated anti-tank weapons, improvised petrol bombs called Molotov cocktails, named after the Russian foreign minister, proved equally deadly, destroying nearly 2,000 tanks during the course of the war. Faced with tough opposition, the Red Army were forced to retreat, again becoming easy prey for the Finnish ski troops. Suffering in the freezing cold temperatures, the Russian armies were divided into isolated groups, and as they huddled around fires, they were swiftly encircled and eliminated. The forests, snow-covered lakes and roads of Finland were soon littered with the frozen corpses of Russian soldiers as more and more fell victim to the bitter cold and the constant attacks from the Finns. By January the 8th, it was clear that the Russians had lost the Battle of Suomussalmi,